The noodle shop I run offers unlimited refills. I originally started this to make sure the less fortunate could have a warm, filling meal, but I never expected that one day, a woman would walk in with 8 kids, order just one bowl of noodles, and proceed to demand 24 refills. I tried to reason with her kindly, but she just whipped out her phone and started recording. Not only did she call me a greedy, black-hearted shop owner, but she also incited netizens to cyberbully me. Later, a group of thugs blocked my shop entrance, refusing to let any other customers inside. When I tried to stand up to them and reason, they beat me to death. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day that woman walked in with her 8 kids. This time, I walked up to them with a smile. "Boss, give us a bowl of your cheapest plain noodles," she said. A woman stood there, dressed in old, faded, worn-out clothes, followed by 8 skinny, frail-looking children. She stood at the door with an arrogant air. The woman leading them was named Xiang Ching. She ran an account on a short video platform called Mom of 8, trying to make a living in the city. Looking at that face I knew all too well, the memory of being beaten to death flashed through my mind. It was her, she was the one who killed me in my past life. My noodle shop is located near the old district, where many struggling manual laborers and elderly people live alone. To make sure they could have a full meal for the least amount of money, I set a rule: $10 for a bowl of plain noodles with unlimited refills. After a year in business, it was still going strong, and more importantly, I had earned the kindness and respect of the neighbors. That was until Xiang Ching showed up. In my past life, she brought her 8 kids in, and ordered one bowl, then demanded 24 refills. She even made me change the soup base 5 times. My little shop, which barely makes a profit, couldn't handle that. The unlimited refills were meant for people who were truly in need. She changed her attitude instantly, pulled out her phone, and started filming me. "Everyone, come look at this. This shop is a total scam. The sign says unlimited refills, but they get mad just because my kids had a few extra bowls." He just started giving me attitude. Seeing that I was alone with my kids, he thought I was an easy target. "Since when does being poor mean you're not a person? Do poor people deserve to be humiliated by heartless capitalists like you?" She was sobbing, tears streaming down her face. The 8 children joined in, wailing right along with her. The video hit the internet, and just like that, overnight, I became the most hated, black-hearted shopkeeper on the web. My store got bombarded with over 100 malicious 1-star reviews. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Nothing but endless abuse. The next day, a bunch of thugs swarmed into my shop. Each of them ordered a single bowl of noodles. They sat there all day long, driving away every single customer I had. I called the police. When the officers arrived, they acted like angels. But as soon as the police left, they went right back to it. I reached my breaking point. I went up to confront them. They shoved me to the ground. They kicked and punched me, until I lost consciousness. The last thing I heard was their sneering laughter. Some noodle shop owner actually dared to mess with our family's internet celebrity, Death Wish. So Xiang Ching was an influencer. This was all a scam he carefully orchestrated for views and clout. And I was just an innocent sacrifice he used to boost his fame. I opened my eyes again. I was back at the day he first walked into my shop, looking at those scrawny kids behind him. Since I've been given a second chance at life, I'm going to make sure this parasite is ruined. I forced myself to greet him with a warm smile. "Welcome, come on in, please. Find a seat for the kids." That clearly caught Xiang Ching off guard. He probably had a dozen scenarios planned where I kicked him out, giving him the perfect opening to play the victim and milk the situation for all the traffic it was worth. But he never expected me to welcome him with a smile. Hey boss, look, running a business means opening your doors to everyone. It makes no sense to turn customers away, does it? I cut him off right then and there. Then, I quickly pushed some tables together to make one big spot for them. I poured 7 cups of hot tea. "You kids must be starving, right? Have some tea first. It'll warm you up." The wariness in Jiang Ching's eyes slowly started to fade. It was replaced by pure greed. He probably figured I was just some brainless pushover. He cleared his throat and started his little performance. "Listen, boss, we don't have much money. Just one bowl of plain noodles will do." I took the money with a smile. "You got it. One bowl of plain noodles. Just a moment, please." I turned around and headed into the kitchen. I didn't start cooking the noodles right away. Instead, I adjusted the angle of the security camera from the back, making sure I could get a crystal clear shot of Jiang Ching's table. Then, I went to boil the noodles. Before long, a steaming bowl of noodles was served. "Here we go, noodles are up. Eat them while they're hot." Jiang Ching grabbed the chopsticks immediately, and under the hungry gazes of the kids, he inhaled the whole bowl. "Boss, another one," Jiang Ching said, licking his lips. I replied without missing a beat, "Coming right up." I didn't hesitate for a second. I immediately brought out another bowl. Soon the second bowl, then the third, then the fourth. I kept a constant smile on my face, moving quickly and efficiently, providing top-tier service. Jiang Ching was getting bolder and bolder. The sound of him slurping noodles grew louder and louder. He even pulled out his phone, constantly snapping photos, watching his antics. I couldn't help but let out a cold, mocking laugh. This guy is seriously calculating, and honestly just pathetic. He's definitely just waiting for me to lose my patience, waiting for me to call him out, or kick him to the curb. That way, he'd have the perfect excuse to start a scene, and play the victim of a heartless, evil business owner. Too bad for him. I'm not giving him that chance again. The other customers in the shop started noticing the commotion, and began whispering among themselves. One of the regulars, an elderly sanitation worker, couldn't help but ask me, "Boss Shen, are you?" I just gave her a small smile, and shook my head, letting her know, "Don't worry about it. I actually want Xiang Ching to put on a show. The harder she performs, the more I enjoy it." By the 19th night, Xiang Ching finally lost it. Seeing that I wasn't taking the bait, she decided to go on the offensive. She cleared her throat, turned to her phone camera, and in a tone that was both aggrieved and brave, she said, "Guys, look at this. The owner is genuinely such a good person. We've eaten so much, and he hasn't said a single word of complaint. He's nothing like those heartless business owners you see online. For people like us with so little, we're just so lucky to meet someone like him." She's setting the stage, building me up as high as she can, because the second I show any sign of dissatisfaction, that contrast will make her video go viral with all the drama. It'll be even easier to trigger the internet's rage. To truly destroy someone's reputation, you have to hit where it hurts. She knows exactly how to play this game. I sneered to myself, while keeping a friendly, professional smile on my face. Now, ma'am, don't say that. I opened the shop just so everyone could get a warm meal. As long as these doors are open, I'll make sure everyone leaves full. I laid it all out there, clear and straight. The other diners around us burst into applause. A flicker of annoyance, barely noticeable, crossed Xiang Qingqing's face. He wanted to see me lose my temper. He didn't want me winning over the crowd. His eyes darted around. Then, he cooked up another scheme. "You're such a great guy, boss," he said. "But these noodles, they don't really fill you up, do they? Why not go all the way and be a hero? How about you add some meat sauce to our plain noodles? Those are plain noodles. Meat sauce noodles. Cost $25 a bowl." He was pushing his luck, plain and simple. In my past life, this was exactly where I told him no. And that was when he finally blew a fuse. This time, I just kept smiling and nodded. I turned and headed into the kitchen. I scooped up a giant ladle of fragrant meat sauce and drizzled it evenly over the refills. "Here, let the kids get some extra protein." Xiang Qingqing was completely stunned. All the rehearsed lines he had ready were stuck in his throat. He couldn't figure out why this shop owner was acting like such a pushover, letting him take whatever he wanted. The look in the other customers' eyes had shifted from pity to genuine respect. "Boss Shen, you've got the heart of a saint. Yeah, you really don't find good people like him anymore." Hearing the chatter around him, Xiang Qingqing's face turned every shade of green and white. He wanted viral views. He wanted netizens to tear me to shreds. He wasn't looking to hand me an award. Seeing his first plan fail, he had no choice but to grit his teeth and keep eating. Bowl number 20. Bowl number 25. 30 bowls. He kept ordering refills until he hit 30 bowls. The kids were already slumped over in their chairs, exhausted. Their faces had turned green from being so stuffed. Xiang Qingqing's own belly was round as a drum. He couldn't force down another bite, but he didn't look happy at all, despite getting all those free meals. Because the little stunt he planned for today totally flopped. He shot me a venomous glare, like I was the man who killed his father. He muttered a hasty thanks, then scrambled away in a panic with all 8 kids in tow. Xiang Qingqing, the real show is only just beginning. Once she left, things in the shop finally calmed down. The old janitor shuffled over, looking worried, and said to me, "You could tell just by looking at that family, they're just here to mooch. You can't keep letting them walk all over you like that." I topped off his bowl with some hot soup, and said with a smile, "Old man Wang, don't you worry. I've got it all figured out." After seeing off the last of the customers, I locked up the shop and saved the surveillance footage, making sure to keep a solid backup. But that alone wouldn't be enough to take down Xiang Qingqing and the company backing her. In my past life, they were able to cyberbully an ordinary person like me to death, so you can imagine the kind of influence they have. I need a much sharper weapon, a real bombshell that can finish them for good. I pulled up Xiang Qingqing's short video account, 8 Treasure Mom's Life in the City. There were hundreds of videos on there, and they were all pretty much the same. It was almost always her with those 8 kids, crammed into some cheap, dumpy rental, eating the bare minimum for meals, set to sad music with a tearjerker caption. Then, right in the middle of the video, she'd start pushing ads and linking shopping carts. Looks like the company set her up with the persona of a great single mom, abandoned by her husband, struggling to raise 8 kids all by herself in the city. And the comments section? It was nothing but "Keep it up, sis. A mother's love is so great." And people saying they were moved to tears, just piling on the pity and praise. Every now and then, there'd be a comment questioning why she didn't put the kids up for adoption, or wondering how on earth she managed to have 8 of them in the first place. They'd get swarmed by his fans, harassed until they deleted their comments. By playing the victim like that, he's racked up nearly 1 million followers. I scoffed and tapped on his latest video. He posted it just 30 minutes ago. The video, it shows them eating noodles in my shop, but it's been edited to look exactly how he wants. In the video, she and the kids are eating so happily, and I'm there the whole time, smiling and serving them, catering to their every demand. The background music is all warm and touching, and the title is, "There's Still Warmth in the City." Ran into an angel of a noodle shop owner. He let our family of 8 eat our fill for only $10. I'm grateful for this video. Right below it, the address of my shop is pinned at the top. The comment section is filled with nothing but praise. What a kind-hearted and handsome boss. We have to go show our support. Address noted. Got it. Going there tomorrow to check it out. Good people deserve good rewards. This is what real positive energy looks like. Like this post for the boss. What he's doing here is called praising someone to ruin them. Once a video like this goes out, a whole crowd is going to come to my shop just to cause trouble. And once it gets crowded, if my service slips even a little bit, or because of the costs, I can't keep up with everyone's demands for unlimited free noodle refills, conflict is bound to break out. And that's when he'll jump back in to point fingers at me, saying I've lost my original intentions, or that I've been blinded by all the fame. All the mud will be slung right back at me, and she'll end up getting even more views and exposure. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I stared at my phone, and just thinking about what she's planning to do next made me shake with rage. I have to fight back. I closed the video and opened the dialer to call the police, but after a second thought, I hung up. He hadn't broken any laws. It's strictly an ethical issue. The police can't do anything about it. Suddenly, an idea crossed my mind. Since the law can't punish people like him, why shouldn't I fight fire with fire? The next day, Xiang Qingqing's video had gone viral, just as I expected. My little noodle shop had become an overnight internet sensation, a go-to spot for social media check-ins. And sure enough, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I had just rolled up the shutters. The door was already packed with a massive crowd of people. Phones and cameras pointed every which way, with lenses practically shoved right in my face. Are you the owner? The legendary guy who offers all you can eat for $10? We saw Babao Mom's video, and came here just for this. You're such a good guy, boss. Hey boss, give us a bowl of plain noodles too. We're here to see if it's really for real. Wu Xiangshu. The crowd was deafening. Some were genuinely here to support me, some just here for the spectacle. But mostly, their eyes were full of greed and schemes. They held their phones high, live streaming away. The titles were all pretty much the same. Testing out the viral noodle shop. Time to teach this boss a lesson today. I had braced myself for this. I kept that same smile from yesterday plastered on my face. Welcome everyone. No need to rush. Come in one by one, there's plenty of room. I promise everyone will get to eat. You'll all leave full. Boss, 1 bowl of plain noodles. Boss, more noodles over here. Hey boss, hurry up. We've been waiting for 5 minutes already. The sounds of people urging me on came one after another. I was dashing back and forth between the kitchen and the dining area all by myself. Sweat had soaked completely through my uniform. Boiling noodles, scooping them up, adding broth to the bowls. I was repeating these actions like a machine. I felt like my arms were about to fall off. A young live streamer with dyed blonde hair was broadcasting on his phone, shouting at the top of his lungs, "Guys, my followers! We've already asked for 10 refills. The boss's speed can't keep up with us anymore. What's the matter? Can't handle it?" "Yeah, exactly, boss. You're really not cutting it, are you? Yesterday, Mother Babao brought 8 kids and still managed to get 30 refills. We've only had a few bowls and you're already losing patience?" I walked over carrying a bowl of noodles, still keeping a smile on my face. "Hey, little brother. My apologies. It's really busy today. Sorry for the long wait. Here, your noodles." I set a large, heaping bowl of noodles down in front of him. He froze for a second, clearly not expecting that I wouldn't be angry and that I'd be so patient instead. He awkwardly picked up his chopsticks. With his live stream chat mocking him for being boring, for not being able to finish the food, and telling him not to waste it, he forced himself to shove the noodles into his mouth. Throughout the entire day, I served over 300 customers and sent out over 1,000 bowls of refills. At 10 o'clock at night, after seeing off the very last customer, I collapsed into a chair, feeling completely drained of all energy. The ingredients in the shop have bottomed out. After subtracting the costs from today's revenue, I'm down nearly 8,000 bucks. Old Man Wang came by again right before closing. He didn't come to eat. He just quietly helped me clean up the mess on the tables. "Boss Shen, why are you putting yourself through this? If things keep going this way, your shop is going to be eaten into bankruptcy." I shook my head, pulled an envelope from the drawer, and handed it to him. "Old Man Wang, this is the money I've earned over the last few days. Could you do me a favor? Tomorrow at dawn, take this to the orphanage on the west side and donate it for me. This has to be tens of thousands, right? Didn't you lose money today? Are you not planning on living your life anymore?" I offered a small smile. "It's all right, Old Man Wang. What I need to do is give back to the community. No matter how they try to make things difficult for me, I can't forget why I started this." Old Man Wang looked at me, his gaze complex, eventually fading into a long, heavy sigh. He solemnly took the envelope. After seeing Old Man Wang off, I locked the doors, pulled out my laptop, and started editing the surveillance footage from the entire day. The faces of those live streamers, the greed of those people looking for a free ride, the sight of me rushing around in a panic, and finally, the moment I handed the stack of cash to Old Man Wang, along with my words entrusting him with the donation, it was all edited together. Did they really think I was stupid enough to open my heart and spill my guts to an old man who, while he often comes by for noodles, is basically a stranger, and give him tens of thousands of dollars too? As if that would ever happen. After I finished editing the video, I opened up a different short video platform. I managed to find Laoji, a content creator with over 10 million followers, famous for exposing scams and digging up the truth. I sent him my entire story along with all my video evidence. Seeing his furious response, condemning what happened, and promising to speak out for me tomorrow, I finally collapsed onto my desk and drifted off to sleep. The dream was sweet, because I knew that once Lao Ji stepped in, he'd have all the hard evidence needed to nail Xiang Qingqing to the pillar of shame forever. The next day, I opened the shop as usual. The place was packed with people, just like before. Having learned my lesson from yesterday, I prepared 3 times the amount of ingredients in advance, and even hired 2 part-time helpers for the day. Faced with the surging crowd, I handled it all with ease. No matter how outrageous the customers' requests were, like how many extra bowls of noodles they wanted, I greeted them all with a smile. The service was impeccable. As for those influencers looking to stir up trouble, they couldn't find a single fault in my service. They had absolutely nothing to attack, so they just ate their noodles in disappointment and slinked away. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the shop had cleared out a little. That's when Xiang Qingqing showed up again. This time, she wasn't alone. Behind her were several men carrying professional cameras. It looked like they were sent by the MCN agency backing her. She was wearing full polished makeup today, and was dressed in some very respectable clothes. In her hands, she held an honorary banner. "Boss Shen, we meet again." Xiang Qingqing walked into the shop, beaming with delight, and shoved the banner, which read "True kindness in the world, a noodle shop that warms the heart," right into my hands. The cameras behind her immediately zoomed in on us. She was here to put on another show. "Boss Shen, I'm here today specifically to thank you. Ever since my video went viral, business has been booming for you, hasn't it?" His voice was incredibly loud, so loud that everyone in the shop could hear him. "Look, now the whole internet knows what a good person you are. Your shop has become quite the viral sensation too. Come to think of it, you really owe me a thank you." His words were loaded with a hidden meaning, that I had exploited his kindness, just to create hype for myself. The customers in the shop who were just there for the spectacle started whispering to each other. I looked at him and let out a cold internal laugh. Finally, here we go. This Xiang Qingqing realized she couldn't get clout through normal means, so she switched tactics to profit from someone else's misery. Just as I was thinking about how to retort, a booming voice rang out from the entrance. "Thank you? Thank you for what exactly? Are you treating everyone like fools? Dragging along a bunch of fake kids just to scam free food and drinks?" "Hello everyone, I'm Old G. Today, I'm here to expose an absolute drama of the year, a dirty, deceptive scam hidden behind the facade of supposedly great motherly love." Seeing Old G, Xiang Qingqing's face instantly turned deathly pale. "Who are you? Don't you go spouting nonsense here." Xiang Qingqing, originally named Xiang Xiaofeng, 32 years old, unmarried, and has no children. The kids behind you have absolutely no blood relation to you whatsoever. They are all just child actors rented by the MCN company behind you. Every time you film, each child gets paid 200 yuan. You are exploiting the public's sympathy, fabricating tragic backstories, building this single mom persona, and raking in cash like crazy. Do you dare deny it? Every word from Old G made Xiang Qingqing's face look even more wretched. The live stream chat exploded instantly. "Wait, the kids are rented? Oh my god. That is just sickening. Trading on our sympathy like that. I knew it. What kind of mother brings her kids along just to pull a stunt like this?" Xiang Qingqing completely panicked. She pointed at Old G, screaming at the top of her lungs. "You're talking absolute nonsense. You're slandering me. My children are right here. They are my own flesh and blood." She tried to grab one of the little boys beside her, but the boy flinched away in terror. That boy was the very same one from the news in my past life, the one exposed for being abused for so long, the one who was nothing but skin and bones. Old G let out a cold laugh and played a video. In the video was a haggard-looking woman, the boy's real biological mother. I admit I rented my child out to their company. They told me they were just filming videos. They said it was just for filming. They offered 200 bucks a day. My family is poor, and my child. His dad is sick and we need the money. I had no idea they were going to use my child to scam people. Please, I'm begging you, just bring my child back to me. Please, don't call the police. Don't take my child away. Xiang Qingqing's lies were mercilessly exposed, but her team behind the scenes reacted fast. The men carrying the cameras immediately stepped forward, trying to snatch the phone right out of Old G's hand. Stop filming. You're violating our portrait rights. Turn off the live stream right now, or we'll sue you. Old G shoved them away. I don't care if you sue me. Stay away from me, all of you. Or I'm calling the cops and telling them you're attacking me. Seeing that the game was up, Xiang Qingqing suddenly started throwing a full-blown tantrum. She sat on the ground and started wailing, pounding the floor as she cried. What did I do wrong? I was just trying to make a living. This society is just so unfair to us women. I've been out here in this city, grinding all on my own. You think this is easy for me? You're all terrible people. You all teamed up just to bully a defenseless woman like me. I'm going to report all of you. I'll make sure you all lose everything and have your reputations ruined. She was completely losing it, acting like a total mess, just like a lunatic. The customers in the shop, and the viewers online, watching her pathetic little performance, just felt completely disgusted. Meanwhile, the clips from the live stream were picked up by Lao Ji's editing team. They cut them up in a flash, and pushed them out like crazy. Keywords like internet celebrity bullies, charity noodle shop owner, quickly took over, everything on the trending charts. The overwhelming tide of public opinion instantly swallowed up Xiang Qingqing and the agency behind her. Her carefully crafted persona completely shattered. She went from being a devoted mother that everyone pitied, to a shameless liar that everyone wanted to see gone. Her account got banned. All her partnerships were canceled. It was nothing but harsh condemnation coming her way. I watched some videos filmed by bystanders. They showed her being dragged out of my shop by her own co-workers, like they were tossing out a piece of trash. For the first time since my rebirth, I actually smiled. One of them is finished. But the agency behind her is the real threat. Because I remember clearly. Even though Xiang Qingqing was the one who started the online harassment, it was that group of thugs who actually beat me to death. Even if I turned to ashes, I'd still remember. I still remember them saying, messing with our agency's star is a death wish. Xiang Qingqing was just a pawn pushed out to the front. The truly terrifying part is the MCN company behind her, which stops at nothing for traffic, and isn't afraid to use dark, criminal underworld connections. Now that I haven't just messed with their influencer, but also personally destroyed her, there is no way they are just going to let me off the hook. But things didn't actually happen the way I thought they would. The MCN company didn't immediately come for their revenge. The next 2 days were completely uneventful. It was as if Qingqing and her agency had simply vanished off the face of the earth. There wasn't a single whisper about them anymore. My noodle shop returned to its usual peaceful rhythm. In fact, it became even more popular than before. Many locals were genuinely moved by what I did. They started coming to the shop specifically to enjoy a bowl of noodles. No one brought up the unlimited refills thing anymore. Everyone would voluntarily pay for their second bowl after finishing the first. Old Man Wang even brought over a thank you letter and the receipts from the orphanage. I hung them up on the wall with the respect they deserved. Everything seemed to be heading in the right direction. But deep down, my sense of unease kept growing day by day. The silence before a storm is always the most terrifying part. I fell into a state of deep anxiety. That night, I closed up the shop as usual. Just as I was about to head out the door, an unexpected visitor suddenly appeared. Boss Shi, can we talk? Teacher G, what brings you here? He took a sip of water and said in a low, serious voice, I came here to warn you, you need to be careful. My heart skipped a beat. You mean the agency behind Qingqing? Exactly. I did some digging into that company. I never imagined it would be this complicated. I found out some things. They don't just focus on creating internet celebrities. Behind the scenes, they're involved in a lot of shady business, including illegal loan operations. Qingqing was just a tool for them to rake in cash. Now that this tool is broken, they've taken a massive hit. They are definitely going to retaliate. Old G's words confirmed my worst suspicions, and I found out that one of their shareholders goes by the nickname Brother Dragon. He has a criminal record. He used to run the streets back in the day and has a whole gang of thugs under him. My internal alarm bells started screaming. But what if those thugs who beat me to death were actually his men? Old G watched as my face turned pale. He continued, I came here today for 2 reasons. First, to give you a heads up. And second, to say goodbye. I'm planning to leave this city for a while to lay low. They've already tracked down where I live. Sato and his crew have already found my address. Someone even splashed paint all over my front door last night. My heart sank. If a whistleblower with 10 million followers is being forced to run for his life, what am I supposed to do? I'm just a guy running a noodle shop. A wave of pure despair came crashing down on me. Is this it? Even after a second chance at life, am I destined to die again? And at the hands of those scumbags? No, I refuse to accept that. I looked at old G, and suddenly, an idea struck me. Mr. G, you said earlier that they're involved in illegal lending, right? Yeah, that's intel I got from an informant. But we don't have any solid proof yet. A plan started forming in my head, lightning fast. I need a shadow. A shadow that would give the police a legitimate reason to step in. I looked at old G, feeling a new sense of resolve. Mr. G, I've got an idea. Maybe we can take them all down in one fell swoop. But this plan requires your help, and it's going to be extremely dangerous. Old G looked into my eyes and saw the fire burning there. He was silent for a moment. Then, he gave a heavy nod. Boss Shen, lay it out. What do we do? I've been exposing frauds for years, Old G said. I've cheated death more times than I can count. I've never been afraid of anyone. My plan is simple, and it's a huge gamble. We use ourselves as the bait. This is going to be a desperate, all-or-nothing roll of the dice. Wei acting as my shield, with pure passion as our blade. We're betting everything on a desperate counterattack in this high-stakes game. I had old G use his channel, the one with over 10 million followers, to drop a brand new video. The video goes after Xiang Qingqing's management agency, making even more serious accusations against them. We're specifically calling out their illegal fundraising and those brutal debt collection tactics. I'm certain that as soon as this video goes live, it's going to absolutely infuriate them. At the end of the video, old G is going to announce that this Friday night at 8 o'clock, he'll be hosting a live stream right here at my noodle shop to reveal the so-called key evidence he's been holding on to. Of course, it's all a bluff. We don't actually have any real evidence at all. The whole point is to force the agency to make a move. They have no idea we're just bluffing. From their perspective, Once old G drops that evidence during the stream, their company is completely finished. So, they're left with only one choice: to silence old G and me for good before 8 o'clock on Friday night. But I've already gotten in touch with the police. I didn't tell them I was going to be attacked, but I reached out as a victim seeking protection. I told the police that I'd been receiving threatening calls from the agency and that some suspicious people had been hanging around outside my shop. Combined with old G's video, I expressed how worried I was about our safety. I asked the police to send officers to protect us on Friday night. They officially took my report and promised to take it very seriously. The next 3 days were pure torture, dragging on forever. I kept the shop open as usual, but I could feel an invisible weight hanging in the air. There were always a few sketchy shadows lurking outside. Friday, 7 in the evening. I saw off the last customer and locked up the shop early. Old G showed up right on schedule. He looked a bit nervous, but his eyes were still rock solid. Is everything ready, Boss Shen? I just give a little nod. I point toward the hidden cameras we'd already set up in the back kitchen. Don't you worry about a thing, Teacher G. Tonight, we're putting on quite a show for them. We sit in the shop waiting in the silence. Every single second ticks by, slow and steady. 7:50. Suddenly, the sound of messy footsteps echoes through the alley outside. Old G and I lock eyes. My heart is pounding right up in my throat. Someone starts kicking the metal shutter door from the outside, violently. It lets out a deafening metallic crash. And then, they start screaming. Shin, you bastard! Get your ass out here right now! It's that same familiar, vicious voice from my past life. I don't move an inch. They kick the door a few more times. When they realize there's no response from inside, they start prying at the door with a crowbar. The screech of metal on metal sounds absolutely terrifying in the dead of night. Old G's hands have started shaking. But right then, blinding police lights suddenly flare up at the other end of the alley. A dozen officers come charging out, cornering the group of thugs just as they were about to break in. I had actually planned to let these thugs trash my shop completely, before calling the police to have them arrested. How did the police end up lying in wait here so early? The lead officer walks up to my shop door. We received a tip from a concerned citizen, he says. They reported that a criminal gang was planning to commit a crime here. But officer, I didn't call the police. It wasn't you who reported it. This operation was ordered directly by our captain. Just then, Old Man Wang steps out from the shadows of the alley, wearing a crisp police uniform. Boss Shen, it's been a long time. I stare at the man standing before me. Looking at Old Man Wang, who carries such an air of authority, my brain just kind of short-circuits. I'm sorry. Boss Shen has been keeping a secret from you for so long. The truth is, I'm actually Captain Wang Bufan from the Criminal Investigation Division. I stood there, stunned, trying to process this bombshell. To think, the old man I'd been serving soup to every day, the man I'd been checking in on, was actually an undercover police detective the whole time. I hurriedly motioned for him to sit down inside the noodle shop. That MCN company? We've had our eyes on them for a long time. Their boss was just a street thug back in the day. Once the internet boom hit, he started that company to package and promote influencers. But deep down, he's still the same old scum, maybe staying away from drugs, but he specializes in illegal online lending and those pig-butchering investment scams. He's ruined so many young lives. That's why, ever since the night you made that donation, I've already been mapping out today's operation. Old Man Wang, here's all the money I've saved up lately. Please, could you help me donate this to the orphanage tomorrow? It suddenly hit me. I had thought that it was my plan with old G that brought the police in, but in reality, we were just a piece of the puzzle in their own operation. We were the bait used to flush the snake out of its hole, and Old Man Wang and his team were the hunters who had been lying in wait all along. I never thought I'd be able to take down this ring before I retired. Maybe good deeds really do get rewarded. Your act of kindness drew their attention, and just happened to cross paths with me. Captain Wang got up to leave after saying that. He promised me I should get out of there, and swore we should keep an eye on the news tomorrow morning. Early the next morning, I checked my phone. The wall-to-wall news coverage confirmed everything Officer Wang said. That criminal organization lurking in the city's shadows had been completely wiped out. The ringleader, Brother Long, and the rest of them were all behind bars. The charges included organizing a criminal syndicate, operating illegal businesses, and disturbing the peace, among many others. On the screen, those 8 rescued children had already been reunited with their families, and were being properly taken care of. I took a deep breath. I flipped the power switch. It was the same familiar, cozy vibe as always. But today, the air felt a little fresher, like after a good rain. My shop was back to its usual lively self. None of the customers asked any questions. They just placed their orders quietly, and after finishing, they'd give me a knowing smile, leaving their money on the table before heading out without a word. There was this young guy who had just finished a bowl. Can I get a refill on the noodles? Of course. As long as you can eat it, this shop is always open. Actually, no, I'm good. Your kindness shouldn't just be taken for granted like that. Good people like you deserve the best. I looked at him. A warm feeling welled up inside me. That evening, Old Man Wang took off his police uniform and turned back into that humble, simple guy again. He sat in his usual spot. Hey, Boss Shen, the usual for me. 1 bowl of plain noodles. Extra green onions, please. I brought the noodles over to him. Watching that happy, glowing smile on his face, I knew for sure that this time my little shop, and my whole life, were finally heading toward a bright future. Every bit of effort I've put in has turned into a light, guiding me forward.